there's a battle in today's society for whether or not intuition is valid, whether or not it's relevant in comparison to numbers, metrics, analyzing, rationality, if you will, you know, thinking logically. Is there a major difference between your intuition, something that you feel, something that's in your gut, something your conscience can't seem to put into words or into actuality? It's not tangible. You can't measure it, but it's there. And to go with it or not to go with it is always the battle. Do I trust my intuition? Do I look at the numbers? Do I go off, dare I call it faith? Faith tends to be based off evidence. At least if you look at the way the Bible describes faith, it's evidence-based. Evidence that there's all these different variables, and by measuring them, you come to a conclusion, and there may not be exactly connected, but there's too much evidence to not believe, if that makes sense. So she talks about intuition and how there will come time, especially in her position, where you didn't have the proof in front of you. You didn't have evidence in front of you. You had intuition. Those moments where you just kind of went with your gut, and it may have saved your life. There will come moments in your life where you will have to make a gut decision. I'm not a huge fan of them. The way we, those of us watching, all 11 of us, including myself, we live in a day and age currently where there's enough information online for you to make a decision based on evidence. There were some decisions I can admit could come down to, the numbers are not in my favor, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it may become, it may end up favorable, in your own right. But, just as much, it could end up the worst decision of your life because you ignored all the metrics. And of course, hindsight is 20/20. And so it's easy to look back and say, I made the wrong decision, I made the right decision, and get all the glory or the fault for it. But, I can see where the two would pair greatly together, not so much separately. There comes a time where the numbers is all that matter. Mathematics is one of those moments where you don't need your emotions. You don't need your gut to tell you what 2 + 2 is. It is what it is and will not change. And then there's moments where you have a friend, and sometimes the solution is just simply to give a hug, to hold a hand, to rub a shoulder. And maybe that's the solution that did not require any evidence. It just required you to be human and to feel something. It's interesting. And of course, it takes time, sometimes a lot of time, to develop those skills, especially in areas of intuition.